January 23rd, 2017. Super Mario Logan, SML for short, who at the time was sitting at 1.4 million subscribers, uploaded a new video. This was a video fans had been anticipating for a while, since it would be the climax of an arc that had begun a year prior in the channel's history. And whether or not Logan knew it, this would be the most important video he would ever upload, and in my opinion, it would be the best video ever uploaded by him.
Come on, Mario, jump. I give up. Stupid.
Since starting his channel on December 8, 2007, Logan had been developing his channel and creating skits with just plush dolls. In the first year and a half, things were going well, but he would quickly lose a key part of his character lineup when his friend Zeke, who voiced the fan favorite Mama Luigi and other characters, moved to Colorado. Following this, the channel would have to deal with this setback, and it would evolve in his absence, filling a key void. Because of this, we ended up with characters more prevalent like Shrek, Woody, and Black Yoshi, who would take the center stage for years. And following the conclusion of his key series Mario and Luigi's Stupid and Dumb Adventures, this would be cranked up, with a lineup of characters being added even after this like Bowser Jr. and Chef Pee-Pee, along with a renewed focus on a new version of Bowser that existed outside of this series. Here's the thing though. One character that lost a lot of screen time was ironically the one the channel is supposed to be centered around, Mario himself. There's a key reason for this. After the Stupid and Dumb Adventures series, it felt like Logan had in a way lost a lot of reason to use Mario. As his own character, he was probably the least dynamic and the most grounded, a straight man to the lunacy of the other characters, which gave him a role for sure, but a much more minor one since the new adventures were to be had with the other characters. A plot centered on Mario became harder and harder to find after the series ended in 2012. In the meantime, the characters that broke out strong, especially as 2014 rolled around, were the aforementioned Bowser Jr. and Chef Pee-Pee, and following the success of Bowser's Homework and the subsequent Summer School series, the trio of Junior, Joseph, and Cody would form, becoming a top favorite of the audience and the common go-to video. However, even in 2014, this would begin to be challenged. In the latter half of the year, the character Brooklyn Guy was introduced, and he much more charismatically started to emerge as a straight man, with a sarcastic tone and quippy lines that gave him more dimension. Because of this, Mario's status had really been decimated. Outside of the short Mario and Bowser's Stupid and Crazy Adventures, which sort of gave him more shine, there was a lot less focus and desire for him in videos. But then, as 2015 rolled around and Logan would move into a new apartment, something would gradually begin to change. Mario would have more appearances in videos and start to become slightly more developed, at least in comparison to other years. He would more frequently become a main character in videos as opposed to being just a supporting character. One key focus was one in which had been used before in major roles, which featured him trying to find new love after Princess Peach had divorced him for being bald in a 2013 video. Just saying that feels weird. And a major breakthrough was made in October 2015 with Mario's new girlfriend, which would finally see him get romantically involved with a new character, introducing us to Rosalina. Their dynamic worked out really well instantly, with Rosalina being an oddball obsessed with space but still a loving and caring person who accepts him for who he is, and Mario still being insecure and awkward but overall just as caring and compassionate. And this is truly shown a few months later in the Valentine's Day special, when despite Princess Peach offering Mario to spend Valentine's Day with her, he realizes that Rosalina actually loves him, and Peach was never good for him. He turns her away and enjoys the rest of the holiday with Rosalina, who actually makes him happy. This development was not easy to see just a couple years before, but at this point it was clear Logan was competently managing his increased use of Mario. But this development would still face one more key test, and that would come on January 24, 2016 with the video Mario the Babysitter.
Oh man, it was just a dream. I love that dream. Wait, who's at the door? Oh, they ruined my dream. Hello?
Hey, you want to see my pencil?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
My name is Jeffy. See, it says it on my shirt. Jeffy.
Alas, it's time to talk about Jeffy, probably the most loved and most hated character in the history of SML. Jeffy's debut came in this video when he arrived at Mario's door. Right off the bat, you know what you're getting. He's, in kind terms, an apparently intellectually disabled kid with every stereotypical trait in someone in this neighborhood of person. And his defining gag is him spanking his diaper.
Oh, just stop doing. Jeffy, stop. Jeffy.
That's Jeffy. Jeffy is constantly lacking basic understanding of common things, and this leads to super comedic problems for Mario, who out of nowhere is thrust with the responsibility of caring for him. Mario now has to deal with a kid who constantly is making noises, constantly saying and doing things that are at best annoying and at worst destructive, constantly failing to grasp elementary concepts such as basic math equations and, well...
What's that smell?
Ew!
Someone pooped my pants.
He seems to lack potty training. Jeffy is a nightmare for Mario, and throughout 2016, we see how he constantly makes life a complete and utter hassle for him. But while Mario isn't particularly fond of Jeffy's presence, it was crystal clear that the audience of SML, as following Jeffy's appearance, the channel, which had already begun gaining traction, exploded and rapidly expanded its growth. When Jeffy first appeared, the channel had just broken 500,000 subscribers. Following his appearance, the growth was even more rapid, and in October broke 1 million. You can attribute this to a lot of factors, but you can't say Jeffy didn't make this come much quicker than it should have. While Junior had been the breakout star of the last few years, with videos starring him having the most views, he was surpassed by Jeffy, who would have videos immediately go viral and cast views into space. Jeffy's homework, Jeffy's bedtime, and, rather infamously, Jeffy's bad word, which is probably not a video that would be made today because of, well, what that word happens to be. Quite frankly, despite the humor being super lowbrow, there was a clear comedic magic to these that worked. Jeffy's idiocy worked well because of the fact that it would often contradict with what should be basic knowledge. In Jeffy's homework especially, this is on full display.
The first one is 2 plus 2. What is 2 plus 2, Jeffy?
Baby two.
Baby 2? What are you talking about?
Because you have a mommy two and a daddy two, and they had a baby and it's a baby two.
No, Jeffy, no. You don't understand. Numbers do not have genders. There's not a mommy and a daddy, too. Jeffy, the answer is 4.
No, it's not.
Well,
The 4 looks nothing like a 2. What, did they adopt it?
What makes this part work so well is that Jeffy is viewing it in both a stupid way, but also a way that fundamentally makes it impossible to show him how the real answer is true, because the way he pictures it, the 4 is being removed from the picture, leaving only 8. He's viewing it as if the numbers were living beings, not written symbols. It's the same case for baby 2s. It's 2 living things and they had a baby. But the real twist comes when Mario feels he can get some common ground with Jeffy, showing him a card with 0 plus 0. You'd think there's no way Jeffy is going to get this wrong, and that makes this...
It's 2.
How, Jeffy? How's that 2?
Because you have 1 0 and another 0.
Why is it not baby 0?
Because they don't love each other on that card.
Utterly hilarious, because it showcased how no matter what, he's always going to be on a different planet, and he's never going to compromise with Mario, voluntarily or involuntarily in this regard. This type of mentality would keep viewers engaged, and we would see how Jeffy and Mario's relationship would unfold as the year went on. Every time there's a task, even a basic one, Jeffy turns it into an adventure and Mario has to grapple with it. Oftentimes, if not every single time, finding himself at the losing end. The idiocy of Jeffy was entertaining not just because it was goofy idiocy, but because it felt like a charismatic and sometimes even a genius kind of idiocy. After a year, this had taken the channel to new heights and the momentum was only gaining steam. Logan would also move into a brand new 2-story house that he still films videos in to this day. Entering 2017, Jeffy's demand was ever growing, and that brings us finally to January 23rd, 2017, when SML uploaded SML movie Jeffy's Parents, the turning point for the legacy of this entire channel and SML. This video would pay off not just the lingering question of how we got Jeffy, but it would be a new defining moment and a new era as we knew it. So let's finally discuss this. The video begins with Mario, Rosalina, and Jeffy on the red couch. Mario tries to feed Jeffy green beans, and as always, when being given green beans, he refuses to eat them, leading to Mario already being annoyed. There's also news on TV that famous painter Jacques Pierre Francis left us and left all his fortunes to his son, who is currently unknown. While Mario is dealing with Jeffy and being ever angry with Rosalina trying to mediate the issue, he gets a call from the apartment complex they used to live in.
I have a woman here in the office, and she's saying that she dropped a child off here about a year ago, and now she's wanting him back. She says that his name's like Jimmy or Jeffy or something.
Jeffy! His name is Jeffy! His name is Jeffy! His name is Jeffy! I have him! I have him! Send her to this address! Send her to this address!
Okay, great. Oh, I'll send her there right now. Thank you.
Jeffy's mom has returned and wants him back. This excites Mario. After an entire year, he's finally not going to have to deal with Jeffy anymore. He excitedly announces the news to both Rosalina and Jeffy. And there's a key distinction in which Mario has utter discontempt for Jeffy, but Rosalina, on the other hand, loves him and has acted as a super caring mother. And it's evident how she's saddened that they're facing losing Jeffy while Mario is on top of the world.
All right, Jeffy, any minute now, your real mom's coming to get you. I never have to see you again.
Mommy, I don't want to go.
I don't want you to go either.
She's not your mommy. Don't call her mommy anymore. Your real mommy's coming to get you.
And when Jeffy's mom arrives, Mario excitedly opens the door, revealing to us, well, Jeffy's mom. Immediately, we tell the issue. She looks incredibly gross, very disheveled, barely clothed, constantly smoking. Even if she may or may not be pregnant, she's still smoking. And that's where it's revealed why Jeffy met Mario in the first place. His mother abandoned him, and only after years of poor parenting, neglect, and abuse. In a very poignant scene, she leaves him with a note telling someone to babysit him, writes his name on his shirt so he won't forget, and takes off.
Bye, Mommy.
Jeffy meeting Mario came out of chance, but also out of cruel neglect by his mother. And after Jeffy reveals this reason is the real reason she left him, she briefly starts hitting him, denying that happened, and it was actually her going out to get groceries for a year. And after all this, she leaves with Jeffy. In this moment, Jeffy begs Mario to not let her take him, even trying to apologize for throwing the green beans on the floor, but it's too late. She's taking him, and like that, the door closes. Mario is still feeling happy about his decision, but Rosalina is utterly disgusted by him. Distraught, she tells him off and leaves. And then we learn why she took Jeffy. In reality, she took him back because his father was Jacques Pierre Francis, the famous painter who died, and she wants that money. So she's going to have him subject to her abuse for years until she gets it, when he becomes an adult. She starts again hitting him, insulting him, and this leads to Jeffy jumping out of the car and running back to the house. Meanwhile, Mario is enjoying the life he can now have without Jeffy's noise. Yet for some reason, he finally finds that the quietness sucks. And odds are, Rosalina probably isn't going to view him the same. But without anyone, that's the quiet life he wanted back. And internally, he starts to feel like maybe it isn't as amazing as he imagined. and that's when Jeffy returns. Following this, Jeffy begs Mario to let him back in the house, and after some convincing, he agrees to let him wait while his mother returns desperately with the facade that she's worried that he ran away. He leaves her on the couch with Jeffy while he secretly calls the cops and has her arrested. And that's where we learn everything. And that's also when Mario is given the decision, now that it's confirmed that Jeffy is not his kid and not his responsibility overall, he can either send him to foster care or he can choose to adopt him. It's this part alone that proves to be the defining moment, not just for Mario, but for the channel. And it never hit me before, but the realization eventually dawned. Jeffy was, in a way, a big part of Mario's development as a character on the channel. Leading up to him, he was soul-searching for a long time, having lost his way. He wanted happiness and purpose but couldn't find him. His ex-wife divorced him just because he was losing hair. He was constantly not able to find anyone to make him happy. Life was no longer exciting or meaningful. But then he found the girl that actually loved him for him, and despite all the torment Jeffy brought, he actually had found someone that viewed him as a father figure. Despite all of the stuff that had happened, he still called Mario Daddy. And in his anger, he tested that. Only when he was alone did he realize how much he actually didn't miss his old life. The evolution of Mario as a character these past few years finally brought him to a point where he came to terms with the fact that he finally had an opportunity for a new, eventful life and an actual family. It also showcased the dynamic between Mario and Jeffy quite well. Jeffy realized in this video that despite all the antics, he still wanted to be with Mario, and he took for granted his newfound home and parents. He finally grasped the value of what he had been so lucky to find after his biological mother cruelly abandoned him. The Mario-Jeffy dynamic works because of the yin-yang relationship they have. As mentioned, Mario is a straight man who is tasked with setting everything correct, and Jeffy is an innocent child whose cluelessness causes consistent mischief. Together it provides a check. In some ways, this is the exact dynamic that Mario and Mama Luigi had. And just like here, people loved it and gravitated to the channel because of that. Mario chooses to adopt Jeffy, and they finally have their official father and son moment, spending the day together as family. At the end of the video, Mario, feeling content, allows Jeffy to play his cat piano.
Aren't you going to tell him to quiet down, Mario?
Not today. Not right now. This one's for me.
This video received wide acclaim for how touching it was. People that were strong haters of Jeffy felt way more sympathetic to him, and people who thought SML had lost a lot of its touch temporarily walked back their statements. It was ultimately a perfect lock-in for Jeffy as a part of the channel, but it was more so the culmination of the redemption of Mario, who for so long was directionless. This installment in the series gave reason to all the insanity we see. In the midst of a bizarre online show featuring plush dolls and puppets as characters, it provides the heart to go along with it, and it showed the growth of Logan 30acre as a content creator. After almost 2 decades, many feel that SML has become similar to The Simpsons, with too many episodes to count, and perhaps the quality hasn't held up. But like The Simpsons, there's a key reason people loved it for so long, and it's maintained cultural significance. The same is applicable here, and for me, this video showcases that, as in my opinion, it's the perfect SML video.